the video backloaded. Although I think I screwed it up and it started in the middle of it, but we'll fix that for next week or next week tomorrow.
Right. Our new once every 6-day schedule.
That's the dream right there, right? I think that's called retirement.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
You know what else is nice? About $92 billion in revenue.
It's not bad.
Not, yeah.
It's not bad. I mean, granted, like, their next quarter is going to be closer to 60 billion, but we're still talking about, the gross
60
economic
billion.
impact of, Germany or whatever, or all of Europe. I don't know.
Yeah, for those aren't aware, Apple had a pretty strong holiday quarter. I think I personally responsible for that. I bought one iPhone for my wife, so.
Yeah, I bought all kinds of it. I always buy Apple stuff. I bought an iPhone. That was the holiday quarter, right? Or was that September? I don't know.
That I can't help you with.
I don't know. Anyway, yes, everyone contributed. I think this is, they're on a different upgrade schedule. So obviously last year their revenues were flat. I think their revenues, iPhone's revenues were flat. Revenues overall at Apple had been down 4 quarters in a row for the first time since 2006-ish. So, I think what we're seeing is the kind of cyclical effect of the new upgrade schedule. So this was a good batch of phones and good timing. So lots of upgrades. We'll see how it goes next year. But that's amazing.
Yeah, and their services seem to do all right, I think.
So if you're looking at the numbers, I'm not. I believe wearables was higher than the Mac for the first time ever, which is a data point I saw later. I didn't write that in my article, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, it's 91.8 billion to be exact. We'll round up among friends to 92.
Sure.
It's just a phenomenal quarter. So,
has a company ever had $100 billion in revenues in a quarter?
The only thing I could think of
is
an oil
company or something.
Yeah, maybe like if you adjust your inflation, maybe back a while ago, but
right.
Not in recent memory.
To know. Yeah.
So Microsoft reports their earnings today. I suspect they will make some dollars. Not 92 billion, that's for sure. But we'll see.
No, and of course they're not going to get the big bump from the holidays either. Oh no. They're not going to get it from the holidays. They are going to get it from maybe some upgrade stuff. Well, how much could Windows 7 impact them really? I don't know.
Yeah,
I guess we'll see.
We'll find out. They should have some good Surface quarter. I think I
would hope so. They had obviously some solid devices there. We saw some usage data yesterday. Lots of indication that the new Pro is going particularly well. So, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. The hallmark of a good Surface quarter, to put things in perspective, it would be if they crossed the $2 billion in revenue threshold. They have never done that. So,
I don't know what they could have done to make it better. I don't, to this day, understand why Surface Laptop doesn't impact them as much as I think it should. It's such a great device. I hope that changes. The Pro has been historically their big seller for whatever reason. Of course, they have the Pro X this time, which is kind of a dark horse because, it's Windows 10X, Windows 10. What is it? Windows 10 and ARM. Sorry. Too many versions of Windows, Brad.
There's just a couple, and by couple I mean about a dozen.
We'll see. Like a new Surface Book wouldn't have, had a huge uptick to it. A new Surface Studio, whatever. So Surface Studio, is that the right term? I'm losing my mind. Yes. So like I said, you have the Pro, huge. There's a new Pro form factor, huge potentially. Laptop, I think, should be huge. I think these are and then, Surface Go, they should have revved Surface Go, but apparently Surface Go is doing well from a usage perspective. So, it's an affordable Surface. That's the only complimentary thing I could say about it. But between those things, it seems like this is what Surface can do to have a great quarter. So, we will see.
And I'll try to say this with a straight face. Google is working on another messaging application.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it has been 6 months.
I was going to say it's shocking. Very shocking. This company is like, what should
He'll
we
get
do
it
this
right
week?
time.
We haven't shipped a messaging app in a couple months. Let's do another one.
Mehdi had messaged us yesterday about this, and then I wrote back something to the tune of, "I'm sure this one they got right, or they're going to get right." And it's a pause, and he's like, "I can't tell if you're being sarcastic." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, no.
Yeah. This is basically going to like aggregate many of their existing messaging apps into like one app. It's like one app to rule them all.
You should call it Google Reader."
Wow.
Too soon? Yeah, too soon.
Wow. Yeah, I think that is too soon because that one still hurts.
Yep.
So, I don't know. We'll see what else goes on. If you're curious about the Galaxy Z Flip, they should have called it the Flip Z. That would have been a better name.
Like with all one word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it flips.
Yep. That is apparently coming. I'm sure it's going to have an existing plastic display, which to me instantly turns it off. But
Yep. Yep. We're in that transition period. If you want something new and shiny, it's not going to be perfect.
well, it's probably not even shiny either because it's plastic. So it's probably more like new and matte.
This is literally designed for those douches that want to pull out a phone and, you know what I mean? You know those guys.
Yeah.
Probably wearing like a fake fur coat, you know?
Yeah. AirPods in, even though they don't work with the phone. But still.
They're actually, they're just blank. They're not even doing anything.
Oh, wow. We ran through that pretty quick. Also, Google killed App Maker service. No big surprise there. I guess they had to make room for that messaging service.
Right.
And then
We're going to put our best people on that. For some reason.
This is like a top 10 episode right here, folks.
Oh, God. I don't know if I'm going to get this up. I have to go to the gym this morning, but I'll probably get this up afterwards. But I'm writing a kind of a quickie thing about what I've learned about programming across VB, C#, XAML, WinForms, and WPF. I haven't talked too much about the XAML, WPF, or C# stuff. But on the side, I've been working on that for a long time. And one of the things a couple of things I've worked up are a C sharp version. C sharp. Say C sharp.
C sharps by the seashore.
C sharps. Anyway, a C sharp version of the .NET Pad application, which is actually almost complete. There's just a couple of little tidbits that are, whatever. I also worked up a WPF version of the .NET Pad app, which is not nearly complete. It's actually still pretty basic, but I probably about half of it done. But the thing that's kind of comical is not comical, it's sad. I have discovered with each of these frameworks, WinForms and WPF, that Microsoft just left out huge swaths of functionality. So for example, with WPF, they don't support basic system dialogues like the color dialogue or the font picker dialogue. And it's like, seriously? And yeah, the answer is seriously. And it's actually really hard to, you can interface with the Windows Form version, which is kind of interesting because that has its own things that it's missing. But I don't know. I feel like I'm getting a better idea of how Microsoft's developer stuff evolved over time and why. But it's amazing to me and unexpected, like how in each case now, WinForms and WPF, they've just left out and never fixed key bits of stuff. I don't understand it.
Well, they had a new messaging app to move to. I mean, I know we make fun of Google for messaging. Microsoft loves their frameworks.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting because the XAML stuff that started in WPF exists today. It's if you are a UWP developer or a Xamarin Forms developer. If you're on mobile, you're using something very much like it, no matter what you're doing. If you're on Flutter or doing native programming on, Android Studio for Android or whatever, like you are using something like this. It's a XML-based declarative layout, UI layout thing. Microsoft didn't invent it, but they, it's based on kind of on HTML really, but it is. This has been around for they first talked about this in 2003. That's almost not quite 20 years ago, but
yeah, it's
interesting to me that they still are using some version of it. I mean, XAML and UWP is not the same as XAML and WPF, but they're very, very similar.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry to bore you to death there.
Yeah,
I'm just going to write about that. I'm going to show. I got to figure out how to publish information. Like I'm not going to do another series on either one of these things.
Yeah.
I don't think, but I would like to write it up because the language differences are interesting. The framework differences are interesting.
Sure.
And the limitations are crazy. Like I just don't understand why either one of them isn't better. I don't know. Okay, sorry. That's been my obsession lately.
Well, good.
I know. I'm broken.
Well, we knew that from many, many years ago. It's just good to see that it hasn't been fixed.
It's just manifesting itself now in code form.
Pretty much. The only other thing, I'll have a post up later today. It's basically like a 3-month follow-up to the Lead Controller 2. Just good, the bad, whatever's going on. Is it broken? That kind of stuff.
I assume the bad is mostly the battery.
Actually, the worst thing for me is keeping it clean. Like the rubber grips, because of the way that they're almost like little dots.
So they collect, like dust kind of collects in them.
Yeah, and so you kind of like use like your fingernail. I mean, it's like
you almost want to cut. Well, yeah. Actually, if you flip to my picture real quick, because I think you can see it. So down here, in this yellow bucket, you can see there's like a white Apple keyboard.
Yeah.
Which I put in face up, which is a mistake. I got to fix that. Below it is a ThinkPad portable keyboard. I normally keep those upside down, and the reason is because they just sit there.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. Keyboard's one thing, but like the little dots you're talking about, like you literally almost want to put I mean, they do give you a case, obviously, but you want to charge the thing. Like you almost want like a cover for it.
Yeah.
That's a silly thing to worry about, but
yeah, that's probably the biggest gripe. The battery hasn't been that big of a deal because it hasn't degraded yet. It's going to be one of those things in like 2 years from now when the thing only holds like a 5-hour charge that you're screwed.
Yeah. Plus, they upgrade this hand controller once every 5 years or whatever.
So
yeah,
we got that going on. That'll be up later today. So
cool.
There you go. You got anything else today, Mr. Paul?
Yeah. Just looking forward to earnings. That should be a nice thing to waste an hour or so on this afternoon.
Yeah, if it's a good quarter, if it's a really good quarter for them, they'll be like mid 30 billion something. So we'll see.
I think it's going to be a good quarter.
We'll find out. Stay tuned till about roughly 4:30 p.m. Eastern time, and then we'll all know the answer, unless it leaks, and then that's a really bad thing because that has financial implications. So there you go. That wraps up today, folks. Catch all of you right back here tomorrow. Yeah, I screwed that one up too.
Oh well. Close enough.
For whatever reason, the default when you load a video is to remember playback position rather than start from the beginning. So like I tested it, but then it doesn't reset. And I bet if I do it now, it does it. Yeah, because we ran through